Thank you for joining me at Yoga by Thai. Please like and subscribe today for tips and tutorials for your yoga practice. In this episode, I am going to walk us through a series of restorative hip and heart openers. Let's prepare our bodies and begin with some stretching. Before beginning our flexors, it's important to know why we are here. In addition to this stretch, you can also incorporate my 10-minute Vinyasa Flow Yoga Poses for Beginners video for your warm-up routine. Hip and heart openers offer an array of health benefits. When the chest and hips can learn to undo poor posturing, we protect the bones, muscles, and joints that depend on them. If our hips remain tight, we risk a weakened or overused spine. Distribution of load strength is crucial for hips and back, since they share many muscles. Over time, misuse may impact our digestion, pelvic region, lower back, and knee joints. When opening and stretching the chest or heart cavity, we strengthen our back to prevent collapsed shoulders. Closing or hunching inward can hurt our blood flow, negatively impact our breathing, as well as our sense of balance. These following poses are great detoxifiers that will boost our physical and spiritual immunity. I have chosen to make my intention today for my practice non-attachment, but you can set yours to anything you desire. As we prepare for our session, let us begin in table pose. Make sure everything is in perfect alignment: hips, knees, arms, shoulders, and back. From here, you can press into your downward dog, as this will guide us into our first pose. Make sure to stretch out through your heels. Downward dog is an evolving journey where we can lengthen our spine and legs, get a great stretch, and really suspend our chest cavity to the floor. The goal is to move away from a rounded or arched back to a level and flat spine. It is here where our chest gets the ultimate opening. Listen to your body to move deeper into your poses. Never force it, and always remember to use your breath. Our first pose today is called Pigeon pose. As with all poses, remember to enter slowly, carefully, and allow room for progress. Never force or strain the muscles. To enter our Pigeon pose, from your downward dog, stretch and extend the right leg out and then forward into a 90-degree position with knee and ankle to the floor. Make sure that your hips are square, aligned, and facing forward. Our hips have a tendency to drift, so always check in that the hips are rotated and facing forward to get the full benefits of this pose and avoid strain or injury. Keep breathing into the hips, and if you feel stable enough to push deeper, extend your front body from the base of the vertebrae out over the bended leg, maintaining a flat back. Let us repeat this process on the left side now. First, give that right leg a good stretch. Extend the left leg back and swing it forward into a 90-degree angle perpendicular to the mat. The more we relax, surrender, and breathe deeply into the pose, the more mobile our joints can become. With repetition and patience, we can get deeper into these flexors. A great tip one of my earliest yoga instructors gave to me on the importance of breath was to close my eyes, inhale deeply, envision my breath, and physically exhale these breaths within my body directly to the region we are targeting. Breathing into my poses, as I like to call it, has allowed me to become stronger, more limber, and less resistant. Breath is the mechanism powering the gears of our movements. After completing Pigeon pose, you can go back into your downward dog and push out through your heels yet again and allow yourself to rest here. Our next flexor is called bridge pose and will give us some much needed rejuvenation by elongating the spine, targeting muscle strength as well as flexibility. Begin by laying on your back with an open chest. Bend your knees, keeping your feet flat on the floor. Make sure that your ankles are directly below your knees, hip width apart, and your arms are beside you on the floor with palms facing down. Press your feet and slowly lift your buttocks off the mat so that your tailbone is elongated from the backs of your knees. Slide your arms beneath your back, interlock your hands with an upwards fist. Draw your shoulder blades deeper together, allowing your chest to puff forward. You can maintain this lifted body position by continually pressing into your feet, upper shoulders, and back of your head. Your chin should remain lifted away from your chest and maintain an airspace between the back of your neck and the floor. Remember to take steady, concentrated breaths here, and imagine the breath moving through your legs and spine, lifting you out of your stance into lightness. To release, unlock the hands with palms slid beside you and gently lower your back down to the floor. Your shape is incredibly important here, so remember to stay aware of your form and what position all of your limbs need to be in to get the most out of this chest and hip flexor. Bridge pose has a waterfall of health benefits: increased blood flow, healthy nervous system, ear health, and hormone balance. It cleans impurities from the lungs, burns fat, promotes healthy digestion, relieves insomnia, migraines, and tired legs. To relieve some tension, you can draw your knees to your chest and hold here. It is important to listen to your body between poses. Give it the stretches that it needs, and loosen any limbs or muscles that you feel are holding tension. This will protect us from injury and strain. We progress now into another amazing chest opener, a back bend called the bow pose. Start by laying on your stomach with your chin on the mat and your hands resting at your sides. Exhale and bend your knees, bringing your heels as close to your buttocks as possible, hip distance apart. Reach back with both hands and grab your ankles. As you inhale, now lift your heels up to the ceiling. Your chest, head, and torso will also lift off the mat. Press your shoulder blades into your back and draw the tailbone down firmly to the floor. Set your gaze ahead and breathe gently for 30 seconds. Avoid holding your breath, even if it feels shallow. As we release from this position, we exhale and softly let our ankles down to the mat. Our entire front body is getting the ultimate stretch here, while strengthening the muscles in our backs. Here, we can open our throat, chest, hips, abdomen, groins, and quadriceps. With regular practice, expect to see an improved posture and increased flexibility of the spine. A more accessible beginner's wheel shape to open up the heart is Camel pose. Here we target the chest, quadriceps, and abdomen. We can get a thorough spinal extension to work on our flexibility and expand the heart chakra. Begin with your thighs hip distance apart and perpendicular to the floor. Tops of your feet and toes should press firmly into the floor. With a neutral pelvis stacked directly over your knees, root down, bring palms together at your sternum and drop your chin. Breathe in, and on the exhale, slowly swing your hands to your back, to the tops of your heels. Press the shoulder blades forward and up, and coil the spine to lift the chest. Now in this extension, allow the head to roll back and hang freely without tension. Continue to press down into the feet and lower legs to keep your chest and spine lifted. Try and hold this for about 10 breaths. Inhale and push forward with the sternum gently rolling up the neck to come back to a kneeling pose. Do not push or force into this pose, and do not continue if you experience any pinching in your lower back. Move slow and carefully. Take the repetitions you need in order to give your neck, back, and chest a good stretch. Remember to breathe. Breathe into your pose, into the chest. And now we can slowly come back up. Take a short rest before we move into our next pose. Our next heart flexor position is called side plank pose. With our shoulders aligned over our wrists and core muscles engaged, we are going to roll our heels, stack the feet to one side, press down into our hands, and extend the opposite arm aligned with the shoulder. The tailbone will stay long, and we can set our gaze up to the extended arm. You can do this in 5 breath increments. and you can transition through plank pose. Don't forget to repeat this process on the other side. This pose is going to improve the strength of our arms, teach us how to engage our shoulder blades and entire core. It will bring stability to the hips, strengthen our wrists and feet, tone the lower body, help develop great breathing techniques, and improve balance to both sides of the body. After side plank, I like to come back into a table pose. Our next pose is called Noose pose. We will begin by standing in mountain pose with feet parallel and hip width apart. Bend your knees to enter into a squat position with your buttocks pressing onto your heels. We are going to sway our knees slightly, and on the exhale, we'll rotate our torso at the hip joint and wrap our right elbow around the front of the left knee. Keep your belly soft and try not to tense. Let's try and stay here for 30 seconds to a minute. And to release, we will twist and do it on the exhale. Repeat on the other side. Noose is incredibly therapeutic and can aid people suffering with asthma, back pain, indigestion, or sciatica. The poetry we find in the stance of Pristhasana is commitment, and as we twist into this place, we in turn revolve closer to our innermost truth. We now enter into an incredible hip opener called lizard pose. What I love about lizard pose is the combination of release, deep stretch, strengthening, lengthening, and balance required as you grow stronger in this position. This pose can be a challenge for beginners, but it's a pose you can grow into with your regular practice and quickly watch your body transform with patience. From downward dog, on the exhale, place your right foot forward beside the outside of your right hand. Keeping both hands to the inside of the bent leg, we are going to gently lower the left knee to the floor, pushing into the toes while extending the heel or keeping the top of the foot flat on the mat. Check to see that your right ankle and right knee are aligned. Hips should remain level here as we lengthen and straighten the spine in line with the neck. Avoid the neck and head sinking to the mat. For a deeper stretch, you can place your forearms down on the mat with your chest square and open and back lengthened. Hold here for a few breaths and allow yourself to sink deeper to get to a flat back. Lizard pose is a back pain reliever gem. To prep for lizard pose, you can start out by doing a child's pose, a low lunge, or a bound angle. The key is really to soften the hip joints so that we can really surrender into the flexor. Please avoid lizard pose if you have knee, hip, and lower back injuries. Our second to last pose is a restful position. This is called Reclining Bound Angle Pose. To begin, lie down on your mat facing the ceiling and relax your neck and shoulders. Keep the spine straight. Softly bend the knees and bring the soles of your feet together. Bring the heels as close as possible here to the pelvic region. There are a number of variations for your arms, but you can keep them on the floor, palms facing up beside your hips for now. To avoid any strain or discomfort, you can place blocks or blankets beneath your knees until the hips become more comfortable in this pose. Do not arch the spine and keep your shoulders away from your neck. I encourage you to fully let go here and release any tension you may be holding anywhere in your face muscles, like the brow and jaw. Allow your muscles to sink into a state of complete relaxation while focusing the breath, moving through the pelvic and groin for the ultimate release. This stretch will target the knees, inner thighs, and pelvic region, enhancing our circulation and stimulating the heart. It also gives our nervous system a break by relieving muscle tension, alleviating the digestive tract, and activating major internal organs. You can close your practice today by going into your Balasana, or child's pose. Spread your knees as wide as your mat. Let your belly rest between your thighs, and rest your forehead on the floor. Allow everything to sink here. With each exhalation, release the torso a little deeper into the fold. This resting pose calms the brain and helps relieve stress and fatigue. It can alleviate back and neck pain and gently stretches the hips, thighs, and ankles. To conclude this high-intensity session, I've decided to energize by inverting into a headstand. If this is your first time attempting, please use the aid of a wall. Place the crown of your head on the floor and clasp your hands together, interlacing your fingers. Lift your hips and straighten your legs as if you were doing a downward dog. And carefully walk your feet in towards your head until your hips are as close to your shoulders as possible. The trickiest part is lifting your feet off the floor. Sirsasana takes strength, practice, and focus. This pose always energizes me, whether I choose to use it at the beginning or end of my practice. Here I can improve my core strength and my blood circulation. It's a way to detoxify. Studies have shown that this rush of blood can enhance circulation and bring more oxygen into the body. While in this pose, deoxygenated blood can flow more easily from the extremities back to the heart. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe to Yoga by Thai for more tutorials and videos. Namaste.